Hello everyone, this is Fender here and welcome back to Would You Rather, the game where you're presented with a terrible choice that would affect your life if it came to be, and you have to live with the thought that you picked whatever option you picked. It's fun. Well, it's not fun, but it's interesting. So anyway, if you'd rather see something else, then you're free to just leave. I won't tap the mic next time I do that. So, would you rather be in jail for a year or live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year? I wouldn't be able to stand jail. And if I live in complete isolation, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be able to, feed myself, or maybe I'd even have internet living in complete isolation, so that would totally be fine. I would rather live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year than be in jail. That's out of the question. Go. Good to see that most of you guys agree. Next, would you rather only speaking questions or only speaking movie quotes? Well, with the long history that cinema has, with all the years behind it, I think it would be very great that I could only speak in movie quotes. Hell, my girlfriend does that all the time, she only speaks in movie quotes. On the other hand, if I would be able to only speak in questions, then I would totally not be able to convey what I mean to say, because everything would come across as a question, even if it isn't. So, if I'm trying to convey some information to you, speaking in questions would be confusing. If I could speak in movie quotes though, there's probably a quote out there for anything, so I'll just, only speak in movie quotes. That'd be awesome. Perhaps I would even understand myself with my girlfriend a little better. She's always speaking in quotes and I can't tell her where those quotes come from, so that'd be great. Would you rather have a college university named after you, or have a sports stadium named after you? I'm not a sports guy, I don't care that much about sport, but if it is about having my name out there, I guess I would have more exposure if a sports stadium was named after me. If I cared about that at all. If I cared that my name is out there and it reaches as much people as possible. There are a lot of people who are sports people, even though I'm not. So I think I would rather, but a college university, with so much prestige and whatnot. And you know what? Screw that. Viva Education. I would have a college university named after me. It's a tight one, but I think, I made the right choice here. Next. Would you rather have your house burned down by a fire-breathing dragon or have your house blown down by the big bad wolf? Okay, well that's an interesting question. I would rather have my house blown down by the big bad wolf, because if it was burned down by a fire-breathing dragon, that means I couldn't possibly salvage all of the things that I have right here. They would all just burn to the ground and be completely destroyed and obliterated by a fire-breathing dragon, which would be awesome, but that also implies that I live in a world where dragons are a thing, and that's a no-go. No. I would rather have my house blown down by the big bad wolf, because I could get all of my stuff back, maybe build a better house, and go to my big brother. I don't have a big brother, by the way, but I could possibly go to my big brother and have him have me over there while I fix my house and while I get all my stuff together, and wolf it is. What, seriously? Okay, it's very tight, but I can't believe anyone would rather have their house burned down. If I'm still going to lose my house, I would rather be able to salvage as much of it as possible. A dragon would burn everything down! Who picks that? Would you rather be sent into space without enough oxygen or be thrown naked into a pit of deadly scorpions? I don't know which would be more painful, but I'm going to go with space. I would rather suffocate to death, because apparently when you suffocate to death, it's just like sleeping. You just are deprived of oxygen and you eventually just faint and it feels like falling asleep or whatever. I don't know how it feels to die, but it seems to me like dying like stung by a bunch of scorpions, which whenever they sting you, they cause this incredible pain with the poison running inside of your veins and everything. I think that would be very painful, whereas being sent into space without enough oxygen would totally mean that I get to breathe enough until I eventually, start hyperventilating, try to get oxygen, but then I would eventually give up, and I would eventually, you know, just die, which sucks, but any of these would kill me, so it's deadly scorpions after all, so I would rather be sent into space without enough oxygen, and 75, not 75, but almost 70% of people agree with me, so yeah, I guess that's the way to go. Would you rather have all of Disney World to yourself for one day, or spend a day at the Playboy Mansion? Oh my, now this is an interesting question. I couldn't possibly do everything there is to do at Disney if I had it for only one day, but if I got to the Playboy Mansion, damn, that'd be, yeah. You know what? Never mind, I'm going to be the better guy and choose Disney, because when I went to Disney, I was there for 5 days and I didn't get to see all there is to see. This is only one day, but I would have everything for myself, everything to myself. So that means I would be able to get into all of the stuff that I didn't get to do because there was too much people. And I would probably get to know a lot more of the park if I was, but oh my god, spend a day at the Playboy Mansion? That sounds like a dream come true to many people, but I don't want to have to live with the guilt in my head that I chose Playboy over Disney, especially when I'm in a beautiful relationship. So I'm sorry, all of you Playboy bunny girls and whatnot. I'll have Disney to myself over one day, and then I'll just rub it into my girlfriend's face. It would be so much better to tell her like, hey, I had Disney World all to myself for one day, than telling her, hey, you know what I did while you were on vacation? Yeah, I spent a whole day in the Playboy Mansion. That would not go well. I would rather have all of Disney World to myself. I love my girlfriend. I'm sorry you had to see me debate over this question in particular. If you were a 5-year-old girl, would you rather be a mermaid or be a princess? If I was a girl, like my exact same personality, I'd just have a vagina. If I was a 5-year-old girl, would you rather be a mermaid or be a princess? I would not like to be a princess, I would like to be a mermaid, because that means I get to breathe underwater and speak to the fishes and whatnot, so this sounds way more fun. I would totally be a mermaid. And it's a tight one, but I'm in the losing end, but come on, a princess? I guess that's just me. A lot of person, if they were 5-year-old girls, would rather be princesses, but not me. Definitely not me. Would you rather eat 20 ice cubes in 90 seconds or forget everything that you did in the past years? In the past year? If I forgot everything that I did in the past year, that would mean that I would lose my relationship, which is very important to me, as you can tell, so I would rather eat 20 ice cubes in 90 seconds. That would totally destroy my brain. I would probably need to have my tongue cut off, but I don't want to forget this year. This was a good year. I got to go to BronyCon, and I got to enter a relationship, and I got to do a lot of cool stuff. I wouldn't give I wouldn't give away my last year only so that I could prevent myself from eating 20 ice cubes in 90 seconds. So I would rather eat the ice cubes, because last year was a very good year, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Would you rather be topless all the time or be pantless all the time? I would rather be topless. Yeah, topless, totally. I don't even think I need to explain that. Would you rather have a child in 7th grade and raise it, or never have kids adopt? Ooh, now... I wouldn't have a kid, I wouldn't have a child in 7th grade and raise it, okay? That would be totally destructive for me. And I couldn't possibly keep up with the way of life that I've been having. I wouldn't have any video games. I wouldn't have anything. I probably wouldn't even have my, my girlfriend or whatnot. It would be a mess. Having a kid in 7th grade and raising it, that would be a total mess. And I'm not saying that kids aren't good, because kids are such a joy and whatnot. And I have 2 baby brothers now, and I love them. I love kids. But I can't be a kid raising a kid. That kid that I'd be raising would be doomed to have a terrible life. I would be doomed to have a terrible life, and it would all be awful. So It's not like I don't want to have any kids, because I eventually do want to have any kids. Some kids, not any kids. I eventually do want to have some kids, or kid, or whatever. So, but if it came to this choice, I would rather never have kids than have a kid in 7th grade. That is not to say that I don't want kids. That is to say that I would never want to have kids while I'm a kid myself. So I would rather never have kids or adopt. And it's a tight one. Oh man, I can't envision myself raising a child while being that young. That would be terrible. Let's go to the next one. Would you rather have 50% of your body burned or have 100% of your body tattooed? I don't like tattoos. I don't like tattoos. And I definitely wouldn't like having all of my body tattooed. That'd be awful. No disrespect to people with tattoos, but I would never have 100% of my body tattooed. That'd be awful. I can heal my body from the burns. I can have 50% of my body burned and heal from that. And it would be better. I would go back to my normal life and I wouldn't have to live with the 100% of my body tattooed for the rest of my life. So I would rather have 50% of my body burned, and you guys are insane. Wow, look at those numbers. Wow. You guys are insane. Having 100% of your body tattooed? Seriously? Okay, never mind then. Would you rather have every commercial be an annoying Geico ad for the rest of your life? I have never seen those ads, so I probably can't make this choice. Have every commercial be a Verizon "Can you hear me now" ad for the rest of your life? I live in Ecuador! I have never seen any of these. I haven't seen any of these commercials. I can't choose. But the Geico ad has the word annoying next to it, so I guess it's more annoying than Verizon? I don't know. I haven't seen these ads. I'll have to look it up on YouTube after I make this video. But taking into consideration that I don't know any of these ads, I'll just choose the one that says annoying before it. And you guys tell me how wrong I am. Tight. But yeah, I couldn't possibly make that choice. I couldn't. Would you rather get run over by a car and die, or kill 5 small children with your car? I would rather get run over by a car and die. I couldn't possibly live with my consciousness knowing that I ran over 5 little kids. I couldn't, I mean, I get to live. Oh, if I take into consideration my own preference, I would rather get run over by a car and die than kill 5 small children with my car. But extending that to my relationship, if I got run over by a car and died, that'd be awful. It would destroy her. But if I killed 5 small children with my car, she would probably hate me. Yeah, I'd rather get run over by a car and die. She would hate me if I killed 5 kids with my car. I would have to be a stupid drunk, and there's no question about it. It's better to die than to kill 5 children. Okay. If you were an evil mastermind, would you rather have your lair be underwater or have your lair be in the side of a cliff? Both of these are very dangerous, but I love underwater life, so I would totally have my evil lair of evilness be underwater. Yeah, and most people agree. A cliff is a dangerous place. What if the superhero that's trying to stop me just came over and shot the base of my evil base, and then it all fell into the cliff and I would die a horrible death? Then again, if it's underwater, they could shoot the dome and I would die by drowning or eaten by a shark. Whatever, I didn't think it through, but I think I would still choose underwater. So, now for the last question of this episode, let's see. Would you rather shrink to 1 inch or grow to 3 stories? You know what? Shrinking to 1 inch would be terribly dangerous. And if I grew to 3 stories, then I could totally toy with the people around me, and they would think I'm a monster, and they would find a way to murder me. But I get to be a monster for a day. Whereas if I shrunk to 1 inch, I would be in danger everywhere. Ants would try to eat me. I would get stuck in a spider web. I could get to more places, but at the expense that everything would be more dangerous. If I grew to 3 stories, I get to be the danger. I think I would rather grow to 3 stories. And again, it's a tight one. I think shrinking to 1 inch would still have its advantages, but I don't think the advantages are more than the dangers that it would bring. But hey, that's my opinion, bruh. Anyway, so that was Would You Rather. Would you like to see me do another episode of this? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Also, what would you pick between any of these options? Because there are some interesting things that come out of this game. Anyway, now you know a little bit more about how I totally whited out there. I don't remember what I was going to say. Now you know a little more about how my thoughts work. So anyway, wow, that was embarrassing. That was a very embarrassing silence. I'm sorry. Anyway, that was Would You Rather. And I'd rather do another episode of this, but you guys let me know how interesting it turned out to be. If anyone's watching this, of course. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. Or in the next playthrough that I post, or in whatever I post next. I'll be seeing you next time. Bye bye.